Hi, how you doing today? I'm your host, Richard D'Souza, here on behalf of the Rich TV show with our very special guest, the CEO of Promino Nutritional Sciences, Vito Sanzone. How you doing today, Vito?
Wonderful, Rich. Thank you very much.
Always a pleasure. Very excited to have you on the show today. And you've had a lot of big news recently, so congratulations on that. And I'm really, really excited to hear more about what's going on with Promino. So my first question is, can you introduce yourself and your role in Promino Nutritional Sciences?
Right. Vito Sanzone, CEO of Promino Nutritional Sciences, 25 years in the nutritional supplement business. This is my fourth turnaround. Uh, Promino Nutritional Sciences, previously known as Element Nutrition, was a great company with a great promise that didn't work out so well. So I came on board about 15 months ago and we began a very difficult turnaround job. But that company now called Promino, is ready and taking off in various aspects.
Congratulations on all of your success. And for those that are not familiar with Promino, what is Promino and what inspired the company's mission?
The Promino company has two brands that focus on muscle health. One is called Rejuvenate Muscle Activator. That is a daily muscle health supplement for an audience that is not an active workout crowd, right? So it is for people who have office jobs and people who are midlife, who want to combat sarcopenia, which is the loss of muscle mass as we age. That process starts at about 28 years old, and every year you lose about 0.8% of muscle mass. That's why one day we wake up and we're 50 years old and kind of are half the man we used to be, or something like that. So sarcopenia is nature's design. We lose muscle as we age, but it is not necessary to go along for that ride. The second brand we have is called Promino NSF Certified for Sport. That is a super dose of our muscle regenerative formula designed for athletes and massive recovery from like surgery or things like that. That is a very strong product, and many pro athletes are on it. Jack Eichel of the Vegas Golden Knights is on it. Jose Bautista, baseball legend, is on it. His soccer team, the Las Vegas Lights, all players and coaches take the product there, as do several unmarketable athletes on other teams, meaning they take the product, but we don't have a marketing arrangement with them, but we send it to them. So there's a lot of players in a lot of leagues loving this. We have a big reach out effort on college campuses and collegiate level sporting events, high school level sporting events. The genesis of both of these brands is in a unique IP that we are the exclusive licensor of, for the mass and sports nutrition and global beverage market, which is out of the University of Arkansas. This is a very well-researched amino acid blend developed by Dr. Robert Wolf at the University of Arkansas. And uh, this has been developed, started in about 2003 with a grant from NASA to create a muscle saving supplement for astronauts on the Mars mission, which at the time looked like it would be 2 years in space, right? So we saw what just happened to these astronauts that were stuck up in space for 9 months. There was extreme muscle loss in some of especially the woman that was up there. So that's where the initial funding and development of this came from. And Dr. Wolf and his team at the university continued in all the years since. There's now over 23 years of research behind this, 27 clinical trials, all showing various aspects of how this patented amino acid blend that is the core of our products helps people regain, retain, and build muscle.
It's phenomenal what you guys are doing. It's absolutely a game changer. And I know that there's people all over the world that are going to need these products. Now, you've just announced a second round of preclinical studies focused on breast and prostate cancer patients. What prompted this research initiative?
So we have a very good partnership with Dr. Patrick Gunning out of the University of Toronto and the University of Glasgow. Uh, Dr. Gunning is one of the preeminent researchers in cancer, proteins, etc. So his life is dedicated to bettering the lives of people with cancer while they're fighting it. So lots of research. Now, we did a preclinical a few months ago and loved the results. This was a leukemia model, and we showed absolute retention of muscle mass in these subjects and a couple of other little surprising things that begged us to go forward with a second clinical, a preclinical that would assess those other findings. But if and when these turn out like we think they will, we will have found a distinct new category for our Promino products with the oncology treatment sector. That's a new business for us. We're typically GNC and Vitamin Shop and Walgreens and Walmarts. The health services market, the oncology market, is a broad new silo for us to go into. We'd be selling our product to healthcare professionals, cancer treatment clinics, et cetera, and obviously a direct to consumer venue there as well. So it's an exciting new opportunity, but we're not going to do it until we have beautiful, wonderful research out of Dr. Gunning's team, and we revise the product as needed and launch it specifically for that market. I expect that to happen over this next year. So by the end of the year, I can probably give you very precise timing on the launch of those products.
Fantastic. I can't wait to see the timing of the launch of those products. And why did Promino choose to focus specifically on muscle loss during chemotherapy?
Well, broadly, we are an antidote for muscle loss, whether it's the most extreme study. This is one of the clinicals was done on Navy SEALs in what is called a super dramatic situation where they're put out into deserts and fields of war and no food, almost no water, and very little to live on. So there was extreme caloric deprivation, which led to very rapid muscle loss. So in that clinical, which was done on humans, we found that the use of this supplement, this amino acid blend, prevented that muscle loss and actually grew muscle while these people were in extreme caloric deprivation. So that's enough to get your attention. And further, there are several clinicals on surgical repair for knees, hips, etc. So major healing of the body. And there was a study on burn victims. These are people who have lost 80% or more of their skin, and you're literally looking at people in a hospital bed with their muscles showing, and all they were able to take was this supplement liquefied and brought into their body, and it produced almost instant muscle growth in these people. Now, skin and muscle is all about muscle health. Like bones come from muscle health, skin comes from muscle health. Every organ requires muscle health. And it's one of those, the broad argument is, hey, we need more protein in our lives. Well, all Promino is a patented blend that puts just the critical components of protein in the most concise, precise liquid form and gets it into your body. As soon as it's ingested, it is immediately used by the body to create muscle protein synthesis, which is the process of building or restoring muscle.
It's amazing what you guys are doing. Absolutely game changing. And I have two athletes. So my daughter's a gymnast and my son's a soccer player. And I know that this is a product that they would be interested in, their teams would be interested in, their friends and the other athletes that they train with would be interested in. So I think you guys are doing something very, very unique and very special. Can you explain what makes your patented EAA blend unique in combating treatment-related muscle wasting?
So, if you're talking chemo-related muscle wasting, that's called cachexia. And the beauty is, treatment is available in the form of chemotherapy, but the negative side of chemotherapy is extreme muscle loss. And that is not what a patient needs when they're trying to recover. Recovery takes full energy, full strength. I think we've all seen folks on chemo for whatever cancer, and they're just depleted, right? These people have a very difficult time ingesting, swallowing conventional proteins or even food because there's just exhaustion. The chemo affects the whole digestive system, and there's no energy to eat when that is exactly what you need at that time. But you can't force that to happen. So you'll see a lot of people on chemo who are prescribed things like Boost and Ensure or other protein drinks that are in the marketplace. The drawback there is those are very difficult for someone on chemo to swallow. They're very difficult to digest. It's whey-based protein, so that doesn't it digests at a fraction. If you drink 20 grams, you're probably digesting roughly half that. And so it's an inefficient, high caloric, lots of not clean things in one of those drinks. So the beauty of Promino is that it is clean, clear liquid that goes right into your body with great flavors, easy to swallow, easy to digest. If they can drink water, they can drink Promino or Rejuvenate.
I think that's great that you're able to actually make a product that is going to be able to help people, but also taste great. I think that is actually a very key element of what you guys are doing, which makes it very special. Because athletes, when they're playing their sports, they don't want to taste something that tastes like medicine, right? So I think that
Correct.
that's great that you guys have made it taste good. Now, the study is being led by Dr. Patrick Gunning. Can you tell us more about his role and what significance and his significance of his involvement?
Well, Dr. Gunning joined us about a year ago as an advisor on these types of issues. In addition to the cancer studies, we are looking at GLP-1 drug studies as well. That's an announcement we'll make soon. But those are two broad categories that affect a lot of people out there. In fact, there are more people on GLP-1 drugs than there are cancer patients, fortunately, right? So we believe both of those things, or we know both of those things, chemo and GLP-1 drugs, cause rapid muscle loss. In the case of chemo, it's the chemo that causes the rapid muscle loss. In the case of GLP-1 drugs like Ozempic and Wegovy and those types of drugs, yes, they erase fat almost instantly, but they also destroy muscle at the same rate. So you see people who dramatically lose 40 or 50 pounds in a very brief period of time, a month or two or three, some of these people, and they have no strength. That causes problems of its own. They lose all definition of facial features. That is because they can't possibly get enough protein in their body while they're taking a drug that kills your appetite. So very difficult combination there. So we see Promino and Rejuvenate as an awesome complement for people on GLP-1 drugs.
That's fantastic. Now, your formulation was developed by Dr. Robert Wolf, which you mentioned, and the University of Arkansas team. What sets their research apart in the field of amino acid science?
Well, you start with Dr. Robert Wolf, who is the nation's preeminent researcher on amino acids. He's a former NBA player, a lifelong marathon runner, and like a student of this. Like he knows protein inside and out. He assembled one of the best teams in history on amino acids. That's why his is the first name that comes up. If you read the definitive books on amino acids, it is Dr. Robert Wolf's most likely. Now, this specific patented blend, like I said, was developed over 23 years now, going on 25 almost. Over $20 million of funding grants have been used toward this, creating this very precise plant-based amino acid blend. Now, this is, like you said, just the essential amino acids, the ones the body cannot get on its own. So they must be acquired through food or supplementation. Now, today's food supply does not have the full range. Like even the best things out there, like steak and eggs, are an incomplete profile. They provide some amino acids and some essential amino acids, but for maximum muscle retention and growth, you need this very precise mix. And that is the patent, is that precise mix of the 9 essential amino acids at exactly the right ratio that triggers maximum muscle growth as soon as it's ingested. So you've got the full spectrum of aminos and you've got instant action because it's a highly dosed liquid and it's also plant-based. So there's none of that side effect or negatives of dairy-based products, which is a big plus for us, especially in that athletic market. And I assume as we get into the cancer market, many people there on chemo cannot tolerate dairy. That's why Boost and Ensure and conventional protein drinks don't settle well with these folks.
Yeah, you mentioned the cancer market. So, how does muscle wasting impact cancer patients undergoing chemotherapy, and why is this often overlooked?
It's overlooked because the medical community is addressing the cancer by any means necessary, right? Chemo has been developed over years and perfected over years. It is a very effective way to combat the growth of cancer. So that's the game, is slow the growth and perhaps kill the cancer. An unattended byproduct of this is that intense weakening of the patient. You're doing one positive thing, but you're doing a very negative thing at the same time. And, the good news is they're alive, but with more strength and more muscle development, these people can fight longer and better and increasing their chances for, at minimum, quality time and at a maximum more energy to fight off the cancer altogether. Now, I'm not saying Promino or Rejuvenate cure cancer. I'm saying it helps the fight immensely because of the strength. Much like an athlete needs extra muscle and recovery time to perform their best, a cancer patient in many ways is running the ultimate physical test here, which is you've got this agent in your body destroying cancer, but also destroying your muscles. So our theory is get them all the muscle support they can get. And if they even end up with 5 additional high quality months of life while they fight the cancer, as long as they're on chemo, that's a win. That's a win for them.
Amazing breakthrough what you guys are doing here. Now, what is the estimated timeline for potential revenue generation from oncology related products?
Well, this is our second preclinical that we've just begun with Dr. Gunning. We expect that to be concluded and summarized in 14 to 15 weeks. That puts us, June or July. And then, we'll see what the results there are. But I have a hunch that we'll be able to move ahead and further develop a Promino oncology version of the product. So that might have the essential amino acid blend plus a couple of additives to add other things, other benefits. But the answer is by the end of this year, I'll have a very clear picture on that health oncology market. I've already reached out and kind of built a team to put that game plan together. So we're going to be ready for it, and I have every reason to believe this will be an awesome product for that market.
I can't wait. And you also had some really big news this week. Promino was officially named the protein drink of the Vegas Nighthawks. Can you tell us a little bit about that news?
Yeah, we love to get into the sports game for the Promino product. Like I said, the Las Vegas Lights were the official protein drink of that, which will now be a Major League Soccer team in a couple years, but we are the official protein drink of that organization led by Jose Bautista. And we have our Promino supplement. Like I told you, Jack Eichel of the Vegas Golden Knights is using it. Many other athletes are using it. My goal is to be the Promino protein drink of every pro team in Vegas. So we
Love it.
started with the Las Vegas Lights, which wasn't quite pro at the time, but now they've been relegated to pro level in I think in the 27 season.
Great.
We were in discussions with the Raiders.
Wow.
We're in discussion with the Golden Knights as a team. That same
Fantastic.
organization owns the indoor football team, which is the one you mentioned. That is very exciting because we're starting, I think, in the next week with that one. I just looked at all of the in arena branding we'll be doing, but we'll be mentioned at the home games as the official protein drink. And there's a lot of good marketing that goes on, 4 or 5 thousand people at a time. Like I said, we've been doing it with the lights now for most of last season and every game this season. And we see the results of those partnerships. We get interest. Everybody ends up in Vegas at one time or another, and
Yes.
from all over the place, from all over the world, and they see that engagement there, and we get the calls, and it really helps move the product.
Now, what's the company's exit strategy for us here at Rich TV? Our community of investors is looking for companies that they can potentially invest into that will grow. So, as an investor looking at your company, what is the exit strategy? Are you looking on building for acquisition, licensing opportunities, or long-term independence?
Uh, Exit strategy, because we happen to be in a category, functional beverages, that couldn't be hotter than it is today. Your investors may know companies like Celsius or Fairlife Milk, companies that were little companies like us, and they got the touch of God, and next thing you know, they're acquired by Coke or Pepsi or Nestle. That is the path we're on. Not necessarily the choice, but that is how you grow a great product and get it mass distributed as quickly as possible. And those deals typically happen like this. We will launch, right now, we have powder versions of these drinks. People mix themselves. But by the end of the year, we'll be announcing the start of the Rejuvenate RTD, which is the ready to drink cartons of it that go into pharmacies and grocery stores and convenience stores. And later next year will be the Promino, our Gatorade version. So
Wow.
when you get those launched and they prove that they taste good and people like them and they'll buy them again, what a acquirer, like I'll use Nestle as the example, they come in and buy a portion of the company enough to kind of support production and marketing of the product. They will put it on the trucks and make sure it's everywhere. So they're sales partners, really, distribution partners. And if it catches on again, they'll come in for bite two, which is more money for more expansion. And then the third step is usually the full consummation of the acquisition. So, because we license this IP from the University of Arkansas, we've got an agreement with them that they will perhaps sell the IP to a suitor of that type. So we are fully built to be acquired once we achieve this big success over the balance of 25 and into 26. Our revenue this year will probably be around 4 million. And next year we see it 5x that at about 20 million. And that's
Wow.
not counting cancer products or anything like that. That is just the strict mass market and sports nutrition market, powders and beverages. If we hit 20 million next year, I see us as having a acquisition deal probably at the ready.
Wow, that's impressive. If you're able to hit that goal and grow that many multiples, that would be really impressive, and I'm sure that shareholders would see an uptick on the stock. Thank you so much, the CEO of Promino Nutritional Sciences, Vito Sanzone. Vito, thank you for joining us today.
My pleasure, Rich. Thank you very much.
Always a pleasure. If you're not winning, you're probably not watching. We bring you the winners, CEO interviews, breaking news, trending topics, and we bring it to you first. We believe that this is a company that is very undervalued, underappreciated, and underexposed. Go and take a look at the Canadian symbol, MUSL, in America, MUSLF, and in Frankfurt, Germany, 93X. Thank you for watching the Rich TV show. I'm here with Vito Zanzone saying, have a nice day. We'll see you soon.